Hi guys, I'm excited to have you back on my channel. I hope you have been keeping safe. You're welcome back. We are looking at Bishop Thomas Dexter Jakes. You know him, he's an American pastor, author, and filmmaker. He said he has traced his roots to Nigeria, that he is Igbo. He has discovered that he's actually Igbo. So who are we to say he isn't? Why don't we hear from him? I think it will be better that way.
Indewo, Indebo. I am Bo, Bishop T.D Jakes. Anam na BBC News Igbo. To the Igbo people, I'm deeply delighted and grateful to have this opportunity to spend a few moments sharing with you. And learning more about you has been something that has fascinated me very much.
All right. So we are delighted to have you on our platform, and we just want to ask, how did this whole Igbo thing come about? We heard in the news some time back that you traced your roots to be from the Igbo people. How did that come about? Why did you even go that far to start tracing your roots?
So it all started when Henry Louis Gates, who was at Harvard, decided to do this DNA testing to see where my ancestry came from. And so it was me, it was Oprah Winfrey, it was Quincy Jones, and several other people who participated in the initial study. And mine traced back to Western Africa and to Nigeria in particular, and the Igbo were my ancestors were Igbos. And so it was fascinating. And oddly enough, I was the only one that was tested that was full-blooded African.
Wow, wow. So how did that
That's
make you
very
feel?
rare.
How did that make you feel?
Oh, it's indescribable. Yeah, it gives us something that we as African American people don't have, which is roots. As Alex Haley would say, it gave me a better understanding of my roots. It's very interesting how similar I am personality wise to how Igbo people are described. It explains some things to me about myself that was very fascinating. And my sons and my daughters have all started studying ancestry and about Igbos and about more and more about Africa as I like to say, close the middle passage and reconnect with our brothers and sisters from over there.
All right. So, do you have like a direct connection, or maybe you have someone that introduces you to how Igbo people do things? Do you have someone you are in direct connection with that is Igbo?
Everybody who's Igbo that I run into in America will always talk to me and teach me little things that help me to understand. Lacan has been quite helpful, and I'm still in the learning process, but I find it all very, very fascinating.
Great. So, what's the most fascinating thing you have seen about Igbo people? I know you have done deep research on them. So, what is it that you have found about Igbo people that you are happy about to be identified with them?
Well, they're described as being hardworking and industrious, innovative, with a strong business acumen. I deeply relate to that. Uh, Upwardly mobile people, progressive in their thinking. It explained me to me. It's odd that I was never born there, and yet I see so many traces of that. I've always been entrepreneurial. I've always had a strong business acumen. I've always been aggressive in business as well as in faith. And though I'm more well known over there for the faith aspect of it, I own several companies. I've always had my own resources, and it just explained the way that I think to me.
Okay, so did you finding out that you are Igbo have any effects on you as a person and the way you do things? Did it have like any impact on you?
Well, my great grandmother was born a slave. She died when I was 10 years old, and so our family stories had passed down from the moments the boat landed, and this just confirmed what our family story had verbally and in writing form been passed down to us as well. I think it gives you it. It's hard to explain the hole that fills up to know a little bit more about where you came from. One of the terrible tragedies of the transatlantic slave trade is not just that we were taken from our home and from our culture and from our people and from our food, but we lost our history. And history, African American history, is taught over here from the times the boat landed. And then we assumed a name that does not define us. So Jakes is actually a German name, and it only signifies who owned my ancestors. So to reach beyond the boats and beyond the chains and to touch a soil where I came from and was in fact free, and to understand that my ancestors were something before they were a slave, uh, is extremely gratifying, and really confirms why I have such fascination with the continent of Africa and always have. My whole house is decorated with African art. I always wanted to see what success looked like in my color. And in this country, that growing up as a boy, that was a rarity. And so most of my house has African art in it. I often wear African attire. Agbadas, when I preach, I find them very comfortable. I have all kinds of them, and people send them to me from everywhere. So I often preach in them, and I have a huge following in Lagos, Nigeria, and even above Dallas, and then Nairobi, Kenya, and then Atlanta. So it's pretty global, but I have a strong constituency in South Africa and Mozambique, and so we talk back and forth. So when I'm in Nigeria, I experience the food, and so I'll eat the fufu and the jollof rice, and have those kinds of experiences, and it's really nice to me, really nice.
Okay, let's talk about the food you have had in Nigeria. Can you, aside the fufu, what soup have you had in there? Have you had like local Igbo made food?
Oh, I probably had more than I can name, because I go to Ghana quite often, Accra, and I go to Lagos quite often, and some of it I don't even know the names of. What I have learned about the food is that it is almost always hot and spicy, and and so I've been trying to duplicate the spice. You cannot find that particular type of spice in the United States. So now I'm trying to get our oxtail to taste like yours. Uh,
Oh, take oxtail now.
yeah. But the thing about it, I ate it before, but oxtail over there, it's so hot it makes your head sweat. And I liked it. I liked it. So I'm trying to imitate it. I haven't been able to do it, but I try.
So, do you identify yourself now as an Igbo American? Igbo? Do you have an have you adopted an Igbo name yet?
No, I have been given. I have been given. I cannot even pronounce it, but I have been given an Igbo name.
Can you spell it?
No, uh, I can't even spell it for you. But I, I I have not identified myself as an Igbo American. I still identify myself as an African American, but I'm very quick to tell people that my ancestors were Nigerian, and they came from Africa, and it wasn't even Nigeria at the time, so they came from West Africa more aptly, and they were Igbos. I will tell you in a minute. And the reason I'll tell you that in a minute is because I'm very proud to have that question answered over my life. But it has not changed how I fill out forms or documentation or my citizenships or things like that. What it has done is healed a hole that I didn't know I had. I think the strength of answering that question, whether you're Igbo or Yoruban or Kikuyu or whatever, to have that answer is therapeutic, mentally, intellectually, and even spiritually. I was I was floating down the Volta River in Ghana, uh, uh, just at dusk, and the smoke-filled villages were scenting the air, and I was floating on a boat, and it was indescribable. The beauty of it, the sounds of the nature. I tried to capture it. I've tried to bring it home. I've tried to teach people here. I've tried to be a voice in America for African Americans and white Americans who don't know about Africa, because there's a great deal of ignorance here about Africa. They just don't know. And I apologize for every ignorant thing that we ever said or done. They just don't know. It's not taught in our schools like that. Um, and we don't know, but we want to know, and we want to understand, and we want to perceive, and we are as curious about you as you are about us, and maybe more so. And so I think anything, that's why the summit I was holding was very important, because when we organically get to work together, whether it is with a company like Goldman Sachs, or whether it is through trade, or whether it is through church, when we organically find out what we have in common, what connects us rather than what divides us, it dispels myths, it educates on both sides of the water, and it creates a brotherhood and a sense of family. I mean, you met Lacan, who is my chief of communications, and yeah, and I'm American. I'm American. Don't give up on me. I grew up in West Virginia, but he having that multicultural wall around me is a reflection of what I respect and what I think. I did not hire him because of his ethnicity. I hired him because of his efficiency. But I am proud to have that diversity on my staff and on my team.
Mm, that's great. So, you have been to Nigeria a lot of times, and I am not sure you have been to Igbo land itself, have you?
Uh, I was in Warri.
Worry, you're coming close.
I'm coming close. Okay, you have to tell me when I get there. I was in Warri. I was in the capital of Nigeria, yeah, Abuja. Yeah, I was in Abuja. That's where my mouth caught on fire with the oxtail and the white rice in Abuja. uh, and I have met a lot of Igbo people, even here, and they go out of their way to come up and talk to me, and tell me things and teach me things. But I don't know that I've been in the heart of Igbo land. So if Warri didn't get me there, beyond Lagos, Warri, and Abuja, that's the only places I've been in Nigeria to date.
All right. So, are you looking forward to visiting an Igbo place? We call it Ali Igbo, like the Igbo land. Are you looking forward to doing that anytime?
I am looking forward to doing that, and I'm looking forward to experiencing it and learning about it. I was in a church service, and an Igbo person said to me, "This is what your language sounds like," and they started speaking in their language. And even though I couldn't understand it, it it was deeply moving to me. 400 years of an atrocity that separates you from your ancestry is quite a wound to heal. And and uh, and I think sometimes that people from the continent are so busy in Africa, are so busy trying to get what they don't have, that they don't celebrate what they do have. And that I find what they do have to be very valuable and to be very relevant. And I think that if we share the strengths of both worlds, we are better. We are much better. I've got all the pastors over here are now dressing like I dress, Uh, so we are watching each other, and I think that people of influence should use their influence to enhance the conversation amongst each other, and not to depend on the images that we see through the media to teach us about who we are as a African family.
Somebody was asking, is he for real? Did I hear him speak some language? Yes. He said, what he said was, Ndewo Ndi Igbo. It's just a greeting. Igbo people, I greet you. Ahambo Bishop T.D. Jakes. That is, my name is Bishop T.D. Jakes. Anom na BBC Igbo. I am at BBC Igbo. He was being interviewed by BBC Igbo crew. So that's that. I've explained what he said. Wow, that was interesting. Wouldn't you agree with me? Wow, so much passion. I really liked what he said. It's not really about where you come from. It's about seeing other people the way you see yourself. Doesn't matter the color of your skin. Remember Michael Jackson said it doesn't matter if you're black or white. Just relate with people as human beings. Love them because you have love to share. Love people. You may never know. After all, everybody, we are all created by God. So I think we will benefit from one another if we show love to one another. Doesn't matter where you come from. Let's just be there for one another. Who knows? You might find a friend in someone you've never met. It has been happening and it will continue to happen. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, kindly give it a thumbs up. If you're here for the first time, kindly subscribe to my channel. Subscription is free. Just click the red button and that's it. Also, activate the notification bell so that each time I upload a new video, you will be amongst the first to see it. That's it. Okay? And to my returning subscribers, I really appreciate you. I appreciate your support. I am so, so grateful. Thanks for always coming back to watch my videos. And, well, that's it for today. Thanks for watching. Until I see you in the next video. Bye. God bless you.
So I want to have the kinds of conversation with trusted voices, with integrous voices, so that we can carve a pathway across the Middle Passage and be able to do things together. We have the same hair. We have the same skin. Why are we not producing our own products and sharing them amongst ourselves? We lack some of the same things. Our foods are related. Why are we not interconnecting in that way? I don't understand why there aren't more people who see the urgent need for us to connect on a business level. We connect on a spiritual level. We sing each other's songs. We listen to each other's music. If you got a blazing artist over there, we know it over here. Hip hop, everything else. When it comes to business, we have got to do better. We've got to do as good with business as we do with movies. You've got Nollywood. We're film producers over here. Why are we not collaborating together more effectively and disseminating content through technology? So all of those things are ways in which I think that we could enhance our relationship. As it relates to my literary works, I just released the book, or about to release, When Women Pray. It will be as much read in Africa as it is in America. Why can we not work together more effectively to disseminate content, material, and advertise it in such a way that we're able to share that message and that word? I have a pre-existing copy right here, When Women Pray, and every time I hold it up, I get inundated with people from Nigeria saying, I live in Nigeria, how do I get this book? Why can't I get distribution over there? More distribution, effective distribution. Those sorts of opportunities await us, and film, and television, and music, and theater in all of its capacities. And then there's real estate and retail. All of those things suffer by our separation.
All right, so what do you suggest? What solutions are you proffering to this?
I think it starts small. Trust in any relationship starts small, with a few people who encircle themselves together, who make a commitment together. And that's why I want to host this event. I didn't get to host it this year, but I want to host it next year with a few hundred people from the continent over there, and from the Caribbean, and from the U.S., and let's sit down and talk to each other and see if we can not wait on our leaders and our countries and our presidents to connect us. See if there's not a way that we cannot connect together amongst ourselves. And where there are presidents who are ready to really sit down and forge ahead, let's bring them to the table too, and let's have a real conversation. See, I believe that any community increases when spiritual leaders and business leaders and elected officials and community activists sit down at the table together. And we might not have everything in common, but the one thing we all have in common is the people. And if we're going to lift the people, we have to lift them in every area, and not just lift them spiritually and leave them hungry financially. We have to lift them in every area. And in order for us to do that, we must forge alliances together if we're going to be successful. If the people don't succeed, then who does the church have? If the people don't succeed, who do the governors govern? If the people don't succeed, who will buy the merchandise? Who will eat the food? Who will grow the crops? The main thing is the people themselves, and our love and our commitment to them. I believe that you can be profitable and still be purposeful. And that's the message I want to sit down at the table with a few distinguished, and I welcome suggestions of people who are serious about leaving this world better than we found it, and handing something off to our children and our grandchildren that has a better strategy than what was handed to us. And I really want to see that happen. So thank you for giving me that opportunity to add that addendum.